Welcome back, everyone. It's Ready or Not
Football Edition. I'm Nate the Great.
I'm Chris Stacks, and this is your Week 10 projection. Week 11, projections. Who does season's flying by?
Oh, yeah.
We don't have enough weeks left.
We do not. I think we should go back a few weeks.
I agree. My team would agree too.
Yeah, I would like to relive my last few victories.
I was thinking I want to add some victories. But let's look at what's going on in Week 11, upcoming waiver wire, or what just happened in the waiver wire, pardon me, and then what's coming up with the games, not only the NFL, but our league. We're coming down to crunch time. This is the last week for trades. I mentioned it on Tuesday, but let's mention it again because if you want to get a trade in, if you want to try and squeeze something in, Will, I know you tried trading with everybody in the league. If you want to make a trade, this is your last week.
Last chance. And it's by Thursday game.
By Thursday game, yes.
So when you watch this video, you better be doing something right now.
We're trying to get it out early for you, even with everything going on. So Nate, did you see anything? There's one thing I wanted to pick up on the waiver wire, which why I want to go to Fab.
Christian Watson.
4
claims for Christian Watson.
Yep. And I think I was third.
Does it show the order? Is that the order?
No, I was fourth.
Yeah, no, I was third.
Christian Watson could be if Aaron Rodgers has said, you know what, this is going to be my new Devontae. I'm going to focus on this guy. I'm going to pepper him. That could be their game changer for them, but it also could be Christian Watson is now a top 10 wide receiver, and you just picked him up in Week 11 off of waiver wire.
No, I mean, that'll be good for Tebow. I'm hoping, since he got him, I'm hoping not because I'm against him this week. Very true. Maybe chill on Watson this week. See if you can find another new receiver.
That'd be nice. The Kadarius Toney one, I'm kind of upset with myself because I wanted Toney, but I did not see him when I looked, and I actually forgot to go back and do my double check again this week. Tuesdays are far too busy for me. But Toney was somebody.
I had to force myself last night. I was like, I have to do this. I tried 3 different times. I only got one step at a time each time, and I was like, no, I got to do this.
Toney was definitely a person that I would have gone after. I completely forgot. Prue going after A-Rob. I've expected so much more out of A-Rob this year, but it's like they don't know how to use him. It's very weird to me. Very weird.
I mean, they're not using anyone properly this year.
Besides Cup.
But Cup's hurt now.
Yeah. Cup's out for the season most likely.
And then is Stafford going to be back? That's the other question.
They said most likely he'll be back this week. Mid-up.
We got a guest in the background again.
Yes. So another one that I saw, actually, I picked up the Ravens defense because I wanted to make sure that, I didn't love the Cowboys matchup this week. Much as I love playing the Cowboys defense. They did get 7 last week, even with a not best performance. But I don't love that one. And
they're against the top team this week.
Right. And the Ravens versus Carolina, it was hard to not go with it.
Oh, absolutely. That was one of the ones I was thinking. I was either Ravens. I ended up picking up, where is my picking? 49ers. So I was in between Ravens or 49ers, but I had a feeling I'd have a fight for the Ravens. So I just went for the 49ers.
I don't love the Niners this week in their matchup. I actually just dropped them in another league.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that one kind of scares me.
It really depends on if Kyler Murray plays.
Oh, true. 100%. So you drop Mariota, you drop Dotson, or Will drop Dotson. Will picking up the Bengals. That's an interesting D for me this week. Christina dropping Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm not surprised at all. I can't believe that he went from being top 10 in the first 5 games to not being even given a carry.
Yeah.
Wow. And then Tebow picking up the kicker. Hey, you got to fill those spots.
Yep, absolutely.
So
I mean, no, he can leave them open
then. This week, right?
This week.
Only this week?
This week.
Tebow, he said you've got permission to leave it open this week.
I was checking earlier. We're 50-50 on our matchup right now.
I know.
I'm looking at it. I need to win. I need my brother to win, and I need Prue to win. That happens is now a 3-way tie for the last spot in the playoff berth.
Interesting.
Me being one of them.
And so just so you guys know, because we're going to go over our NFL games, we're going to go over the league for this week. When we do this, we do our picks for the games and for the league separately. It's not like we sit down and put it together. And so when I give you my explanation on Nate's game today, you're gonna find it funny, I think. But you want to start with the NFL?
No, I'm kind of curious what you're talking about here.
Well, bottom of the list as far as what comes up on my board was Champ versus the Kings Jesters.
Right.
So Week 11, coming up on the playoffs, Champ versus the Jesters, and I believe they're right now 4th and 5th, right? Or third and fifth?
Third and it could be third and fourth actually.
They are third and fourth.
Yeah.
So this is the battle of right at the tail end of getting into the playoffs or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at it, and I was looking at, can Champ beat him? Is King's Jesters, funny enough, I've got a longer relationship with Prue than I do Christina, but I'm looking at it going, damn, Christina, I'm sorry, but I don't like your matchups this week.
I don't either. I was looking at them, and even my brother texted me this morning how she has to draw people for, actually she looks like she already did. So she has empty slots.
Yep.
But in order to fill those in.
She can fill the slots, but even if she does, looking at the matchups this week, I'm a little nervous about
But to fill them up, she has to drop people. Who's she going to drop? Because she has plenty of people she can drop. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Ezekiel Elliott, come on, he's washed up. No, I'm just kidding about that. But put him in the flex, Elliott, and still need the defense. Well, she has Vikings defense. She doesn't put him in yet, so she already picked up her people.
Yeah, she picked up, but looking at it, Daniel Jones, I think is going to go off this week for Prue. Justin Herbert, if there's going to be any week that he gets forced.
Do you think so? I don't know. I mean, it's against Detroit.
I think Daniel Jones will have his best weekend of the year.
This could be.
Even if it's screen passes
more of a run game
to Saquon. Even if it's screen passes to Saquon.
I think Saquon's going to be the biggest part of it. If it's screen passes, then yes, that would give Daniel Jones a hell of a game because Barkley's going to pick up those yards.
Right. Herbert, I think if he's going to have a week for the rest of the season before he gets everybody back, this will be the one because he's going to be forced to put up points. It's Kansas City.
Is he filling up? So I know he's back in the lineup. He's not whatever happened last week that you took him out. But I mean, Kansas City, it's going to be a high scoring game. Right. It should be.
Miles Sanders, him versus Indy. I say this with a grain of salt, and you'll see why in a minute. But I think they're going to lean on him more and more going into the playoffs. I think they're realizing that it's a smart thing to not only be balanced going into the playoffs, but actually be a little more run heavy because it's going to take pressure off of Hurts. Henry going into Green Bay.
Their first loss.
Right. Henry going into Green Bay, I think they're going to have to put up points against Green Bay this weekend. Green Bay is one of those teams where they find a key and they unlock a door and then they just run through that door every single time they can. So if they use Christian Watson and he can do what he was drafted for, it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, if Aaron Rodgers feels like the old Aaron Rodgers.
Right. Michael Pittman, having Matt Ryan back, he could be a 12, 15-point guy just because of Ryan's going to pepper him with targets. If it's Sam Ellinger again, I'm not so confident.
I mean, with the new coach, he put in Matt Ryan, and they won.
Yeah.
They'll probably stick with Matt Ryan.
I agree. So look, I was going back and forth. I don't love anybody. I mean, I can't bet against Jefferson. I can't bet against Kittle. But anybody else on Christina's team, I don't love them.
What about Allen?
I don't love him this week. Against Cleveland, I think his elbow's bothering him more than people think. I think they were stupid not to sit him last week to let him heal going into the playoffs. I think it's going to bother him again. I could see him doing less than his projection. I'm not saying he's going to suck. I'm saying less than his projection.
Well, maybe they'll sit him this week. I mean, it depends on if he can get ahead. It's the Browns. The Browns are, who knows?
It depends. Yeah.
It depends
when
on
does
which
Watson
Browns
back?
show up. Week 13.
Oh, 13 now. Oh my goodness.
He comes back against his old. He had an 11-week suspension. It wasn't 8. Yeah, I forgot that they upped it.
Okay.
And then the bye obviously affected that. And I'm pretty sure they said, if I remember correctly, 13, he's coming back against his old Houston team.
Interesting. Not like they set that one up on purpose. So then Nate the Great versus the replacements. So my only notes for this game was it's 50-50.
Yeah.
I literally went back and forth. I was like, no, I got to pick somebody. I got to see this. I got to see that. And I was like, damn, this is one of those games that if they do the Chubb route in Cleveland and just give the ball to him, give the ball to him, give the ball to him, he could have 30 points.
But I have Jackson's back, and Fields has been killing it.
Oh, Fields, actually, the only thing I'm worried about with Fields, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, Fields has been going off. Fields is on a mission right now. But if Atlanta can't keep up and Fields doesn't have to, will they have him?
Well, so he might not throw it as often, but if he can get a run off, he can do another 60-yard touchdown run.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I mean, definitely get his projections. I'm going to say against Atlanta, Atlanta might put up some points. I remember Chicago still doesn't have the best defense.
Oh, I agree, but it's Atlanta.
I know it's Atlanta, but
I'm literally looking at this.
QB again?
Mariota.
That's right, just dropped Mariota. Mariota's actually been doing pretty well.
But I was looking at this, and I was thinking that Fields could do 20, maybe 22. He's most likely, unless Mariota plays really well, he's not going to have one of those 30-point days. He's not going to have to.
40 points.
And they're not going to. And they're not going to risk.
Maybe you'll settle for 30.
And they're not going to risk getting him hurt right now. So that's the part that worried me. You got two quarterbacks that can go off, but are they going to have to? You know what I mean? I like having my guys against people that are going to force them to put up points. Mm-hmm. Why? Because then they're going for 30, 35, 40.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
But that's when I was looking at it. That's the only thing I'm worried about. He has guys that need to score this week for them to do well.
You say that, but Russell Wilson has not scored on any need-to-score game.
I agree, but I also, Las Vegas, funny enough, little stat for you. Las Vegas right now, their defense is giving up 107 quarterback rating every week. That's their lowest rating. That's their lowest rating.
Well, Wilson take advantage of that.
That's the question. If he does, if Eckler does, because Eckler could be a big help for Herbert on the screen game though. So if it goes out, I mean, you guys could be very, very, very close. I think you'll both be over your projections, but I see it being like 145, 144.
In my favor,
I didn't say a name. I just said it's going to be close. This is one of those games I'm even worried to project.
Which I like. I mean, I don't like being part of that. I like being part of the close game as long as I come up in front. But I still like the closer games where they're more like.
At least it's
Monday night. You're like, well, do we have Monday night players?
Sunday night, maybe.
I don't have any Monday night players.
He's got Thursday, Sunday. Move your Thursday out of your
flex. So this is gonna be settled that Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is the last one.
No, he's got a Sunday night.
Oh, Sunday night. Okay. I'll get
two. He's got two Sunday night games.
Okay, so I'll be done before the Sunday night game. Yep. So it will be
all on the replacements.
It will be on the replacements. Will be Mahomes and
Eckler.
Yep.
Ooh, it's gonna be interesting.
I'm gonna be
still saying 54.
I'm out of town on Sunday. So
you are. You're watching on his phone.
No, I'll watch it on TV. I'm not doing it. I don't have plans for Sunday night. So this is my plans.
So
and I'll be 2 hours behind.
Team 3 tight ends, your brother versus Belichick yourself. Not gonna lie, I think unless Justine can pull off a serious trade before this weekend, just for matchups, I think your brother's gonna take this one pretty handily.
I think so too, and I actually need him too. Like I said, I mean, if you notice that 4-6, Belichick yourself is also 4-6.
I'm 50-50 on who I want to win this game because I'd like to be at least a little bit closer to your brother going into the playoffs. But I do have your brother. And then the last one, myself versus Steiger.
I mean, the Steiger's team, we always say it has the potential to go off. He has to pick up a new quarterback. I don't think he has yet. So we'll see who he picks up. But, I mean, if his team decides to play this week, that's always the factor. If they decide to play this week. So, yes, CMC against Arizona, he can go off.
Mm-hmm.
JTT against Philly. Philly has a decent run defense, but it's still JTT.
Yep.
He can go off. Amari versus Buffalo. That one's worrisome.
Yep.
Can he get the points?
With his normal road splits, it should be his weekend. But this is probably, honestly, my most confident weekend going into any weekend I've been, just because I finally have a bunch of good matchups.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the Eagles were pretty confident facing the Commanders on Monday night.
But I was not.
I was not either. I remember I told an Eagles fan on Monday night in the middle of the game when I was leaving, I was like, trap game.
Yeah, you told me that all week.
I did tell you that all week. And it was right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, all in all, though, I do like your matchups. Let's see if Super Mario decides to play this week, because he did not last week.
It seems like with New Orleans right now, it's like every other week they remember that they have him, and they decide to use the shit out of him. So when they do, he goes off. And then the next week, they're like, oh, we don't need him. I swear. So this should be another week.
And then you picked up Tannehill. I do like that pickup against Green Bay. Green Bay's putting up points. Tannehill's going to be forced to put up points, which is what you said you like, which I'm sure is why you picked him up.
Yep.
Then you got Hurts against the new Colts. Obviously, it's only had a one trial run. Let's see if they continue doing it. That's going to force some points on the board. So all in all, I do like your matchups. Diggs is going to have to put up points to make up for last week. They're on a 2-game losing streak right now, Buffalo. This is a must-win game.
But
it's not a technically must-win game. But
he also scored, last week he scored a decent amount of points for me. Even on a bad week, he scored a decent amount of points. It's Diggs. And then I got CD, Cole Kmet,
Montgomery. I like him last week.
As I mentioned the other day, because on Tuesday, Khalil Herbert did get put on IR, which means David Montgomery is going to be the only man in the backfield. So there's a good chance he's going to at least hit his projection, which is all I'm asking for. Chris Olave against the Rams, I like that. You can tell me if you see different, but this is one of those weeks where, I think even if Steiger picks up a quarterback, unfortunately, I'm just about as confident in myself as I am in Will this week.
Yeah, I agree. Projections low and you're at 145, which is I think the highest projections for the week. Because mine are 135, I think, along with Tebow. My brother's is
144.
Well, just under you, but yeah. You know how he does projections. Always the overachiever every week.
He's like 144, scored 195. Getting over that.
But no, I would agree with you. I think this is your week to win. As far as concerned for my team. Your game doesn't really matter to me.
Very true. Very true. Neither one of us really affect
my playoff run.
Yeah.
So like I said, I need to win. That way, 5 and 6. 5 and 6. If he wins, 5 and 6. That's 3 5 and 6 records.
And then you said scoring right now?
Scoring, I'm way behind. I have to get ahead with record. There's no way I'm catching up unless I'm putting up 190 every week.
So you need to have a great week in scoring. You need to win, but you need you and Tebow to score like 170.
I don't need Tebow to score 170. I need Tebow to score 70.
Because you guys are going to be tied. Oh, Jesus. All right, it's going to be interesting. Checking out the games of the week for the NFL. We'll go quick. Who'd you have on Tennessee, Green Bay?
Let's go Green Bay.
I got Green Bay. Okay. What'd you say the plus minus was?
That's a wash. It's negative 3 in Packers' favor, but they're at home. So interesting. Watch, which could be. So it really depends on if Rodgers found his wide receiver.
Chicago, Atlanta?
That's also a wash, so I don't. But Chicago.
I guess Chicago.
Browns, Bills.
You're so always out of the order for mine. I got Bills as well. Carolina, Baltimore?
Baltimore.
Washington, Houston?
Go Washington.
I got Washington. Okay. What's the spread on that one?
The spread is -3 in Commanders' favor. They're away.
Okay, I see that one. Philly, Indianapolis, pardon me.
Philly. I think they're going to want a retribution from last week.
Indianapolis,
all right.
Detroit, New York Giants.
Funny enough, this game's a wash. I'm going to go Giants though.
I'm going Giants. I think Daniel Jones, Saquon, maybe Darius Slayton. Who we got? Las Vegas, Denver.
I think Raiders are going to take it this week.
I got Denver.
I had a feeling you would.
Dallas, Minnesota.
Interestingly enough, they have you favored to win. But I'm going to go Minnesota.
I'm going Minnesota.
Oh, really? Oof.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Very hard.
Said it so easily, though.
I already processed. I already let go. Okay, good. Cincinnati versus Pitt.
Cincy.
Pitt.
All right, we are differing this week. We can actually do something.
Kansas City versus the Chargers.
Kansas City.
San Francisco versus Arizona.
How you skipped games?
No, I didn't.
Jets, Pats.
I did not write that down.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did. I did see it, but sorry. Jets, Pats.
I think Jets.
Jets.
Okay. And then also Rams.
Rams, New Orleans.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Is that the only two I skipped?
Yes.
San Francisco, Arizona.
San Fran.
San Fran. Just because I think they're going to win doesn't mean I think their defense is going to do well.
And then a reminder for the teams that are on bye this week, we have the Jags, the Seahawks, the Bucks, and my Dolphins, which as you notice, I'm not wearing Dolphins gear this week. As they're on a bye, so do my shirts go on a bye.
Well, guys, that is it for the projections for week 11. Great to have you back. It's going to be an interesting weekend because if Nate's projections of who's going to win and who's going to lose come to fruition, that's a three-way tie for fourth.
Mm-hmm.
That completely shakes things up. And how often do you have 8 people in the league going into the playoffs and you got 3 people tied for fourth place?
And one of them was dead last a few weeks ago.
Very true. See, that's one of those things. That's why you don't quit. Steiger, that's why you don't quit. But, ladies and gents, we will see you on Tuesday. It's going to be an exciting weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing who's in the chat, who's commenting. I do agree with Tebow that I think Will has been spending a little bit too much time on different sites and everything else. Just saying.
I mean, he does web developing and stuff, all that stuff. So he probably has like multiple screens, just different websites.
You have 4 videos playing at the same time, and he just hits the ones that he likes. Oh, what was that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But until Tuesday, may the odds be ever in your favor, and please don't beat me, Steiger.